grandma always said, when in doubt, accessorize. She also said, if you're one of those people who talks about other people and gossips, come sit by me. If you're looking for a really good time, take Faith Bemis' class this fall. It's a really good time out at the college. She had an expert consultant come in, James Bryant, who taught us all about using our other senses. And so we're going to try a little experiment. Close your eyes and see if your brain will generate just a little bit of a film inside your head with this first piece. I kind of feel like Mary Poppins. My favorite things are here. A bike, a park, trees, a dog, women. The lad mounted his bicycle and wheeled off with no particular destination in mind. He circled the park, enjoying the mindlessness of the day, when he saw her sitting on the park bench with her golden retriever sleeping at her feet as she perused a map of the world. He circled the park once again and saw a faint smile creeping up the side of her mouth as she noted potential destinations she dreamed one day to explore. Her brunette hair was tied up in pigtails and carelessly arranged on her head. A butterfly landed on the exposed toes of her bare feet as her sandals stood guard on either side. She wore faded straight-leg blue jeans and a green t-shirt that shouted, "Save the whales and feed the children." His mind raced to formulate a plan of introduction as his bike zigzagged between the towering oak trees just out of her sight, knowing this moment in time was ordained for this chance meeting that most certainly would never again happen. Two ships colliding in the night. Gathering his confidence, scared out of his 20-something mind, he wished for the best possible outcome among any number of scenarios. He dismounted with a certain athletic style and flair, caught a casual sip from the water fountain, and walked his bike another 30 feet to the anointed park bench currently occupied by the unquestioned queen of his universe. He agonized over his opening remark, full knowing that he had but one chance for a home run, game-winning first impression. He stopped 10 feet away, still clearly within her soul's angelic sphere of personal space. Taking a deep breath with an aspiring air, he asked, "With your and your retriever's permission, may I please pet your dog and scout out the most scenic route from Barcelona to Paris?" For those of you that aren't napping, you can open your eyes now. We realize that there's a fine line between a lyricist and a poet, music and poetry. Paul Simon said it best when he was sitting in that railway station with a ticket for his destination, on a tour of one-night stands, his suitcase and guitar in hand, and every stop was neatly planned for a poet and a one-man band. This piece just seemed to have a natural chorus line to it. I had finished my work out in Frisco and was headed back home to D.C. My bags were all packed and loaded. I needed one last walk by the sea. Just a few short hours before my flight, I hopped the Powell-Hyde line. Just one more gaze on the Pacific to feel the breeze and smell the brine. That's when I saw her standing by a tide pool, walking her dog along the beach. Her flowing red hair was flying in the wind as she watched each wave at its breach. I really did not see this coming, just like a shot out of the blue. Fate would cut like a knife to that time in my life, in a heartbeat somehow I just knew. She seemed transfixed by the moment. Should I approach or just move along? Indeed, this time seemed predestined. Two ships, two souls, and just one song. There are moments like these in our life. It's a decision to make if we could. There are two clear roads we might follow, those two paths that diverge in the wood. Left my socks and shoes on the park bench, started toward her with sand between my toes. My heart was racing ever faster, like a dive into the deep. Here she goes. I did not want to startle or break her spell. The last thing I wanted was her fright. The first idea that flashed in my mind was to whistle strangers in the night. She turned and surveyed me with interest, our eyes locked like we'd met before. There was a comfort and connection. It was game on, but no keeping score. We really did not see what was coming. It caught us straight out of the blue. Fate had cut like a knife through that time of our life, and a heartbeat, somehow we just knew. We walked the shore till the sun rose. The future seemed bright as could be. Though it came like a hot bolt of lightning, we were starstruck with perfect harmony. That day seemed so clear in my memory, though it has been some 60 years. We blazed a trail of life, love, and faith with far more laughter than tears. Now, she waits on distant shore with the angels, still gazing as if looking out to sea. One day again I will come a-whistling to renew our shared destiny. No, we really did not see what was coming. It caught us straight out of the blue. Fate had cut like a knife through that time of our life. In a heartbeat, somehow we just knew. Each year now, I travel back to Frisco and once more jump that Powell-Hyde car. I spend the night on our spot on the beach and gaze at her brightly shining star. No, we really never know what is coming. It may catch us straight out of the blue. Be grateful for the miles put behind us and be ready when our time here is through. I really don't like to stray too far from my cowboy poetry roots, but talking about relationships, they come in all manner of time frames, conditions, intensities, demeanors, and misdemeanors. And they can be arranged with two-legged accomplices with opposable thumbs or with four-legged creatures who may just on occasion be our truest friend, companion, and lifesaver, compared to some other relations, whether they be made out of a lump of clay or a rib. So this is a tribute to our animal friends who grace our lives in the form of an ode to Jenny, our 30-year-old donkey who passed away. Maple Leaf Meadows was going strong and the pastures were ripe with horse, but we thought we needed a pal and companion to keep them right on course. An animal to sound the alarm, to serve and to protect. We called up J.D. Gregory. Well, what could we expect? He brought a slight used donkey, medium-sized and whitish gray. The sign of the cross was on her back and she had come to stay. We had promised Grandma Jin if another child should appear, we would bite the bullet and would name it after her. Scads of names were passed around, but the choice was among many, and looking at the stock we had, we named our new girl Jenny. She announced her arrival to neighbors a mile or so around each time we left the house and started out shore bound. The first bray, was the loudest. Then came the day crescendo, for breakfast, dinner, and warning, and sometimes innuendo. When working in the barnyard, she would never run or hide. When fixing up a gate or fence, she was standing by your side. Alice and Beth were little girls. My, how time does fly. Jenny would gladly bear back up and give those girls a ride. Sometimes she seemed so mighty slow, like she always would be late. But if she saw a little crack, she'd be busting out the gate. But Jen never escaped too far, our lovely little lass. You'd find her grazing happily on the nearest clump of grass. And if a coyote or bad stray dog should try to come around, she'd drop her head and scowl and charge, and they were outward bound. Seeking fame and fortune was not her cup of tea, but she became a quite well-known local celebrity. Churches called on Palm Sunday for her grace and style. She'd lead the congregation on a walk and then on down the aisle. Alice and Beth would lead the throng, standing by her side. There was a reason God picked this beast for Mary and Jesus' ride. Leading the Christian faithful in the church down to the altar, I am happy to report that her bowels did never falter. And Christmas, too, she played a role. She acted like a queen, the best supporting actress in a living nativity scene. On each family member's birthday, one card would show some crass. There was at least one reference to the resemblance of an ass. When some horses went off to show, the others threw a fit. Jenny's job was to calm them down and just get over it. When a new adoptive horse or cat would join us at the ranch, it was always Jenny who'd offer an olive branch. Her winter coat was fabulous, she'd weather with the best. In May or June, her white coat shed and lined many a spring bird nest. Not long ago, an old gray Tom joined the Kiburz barnyard inn. The other cats made a fuss, but Jenny befriended him. And as Jenny turned about 30, she wasn't near the same. We knew her road was nearing when she did not come up for grain. Now Connie tried some Banamine and each and every farm girl trick, but old Jen could barely rise and had lost her zeal and kick. Connie calmly stroked her head while Stony beside her sat, and snuggled right up next to her was that sad old gray tom cat. Fenora, the rescued donk, was standing by her friend. Animals just seemed to know when their loved ones reached the end. An urgent call to Dr. Dana brought her rescue on the way. There would not be any suffering on Jenny's final day. Jenny rose on shaky legs, her last walk in the pasture sun, where she had spent so many days just grazing on the run. That old gray Tom rode on her back each moment he would save, on the path to the shady spot by her old friend to pass grave. Now they rest together far from the toils of life, giants in our memory, now safe beyond the light. I feel that when my time comes and I reach the great beyond, I'll be surrounded by our four-legged friends across that golden pond. Cats and dogs and horses and donkeys all on that distant shore, and I'll be greeted by our Jenny and I'll hear her bray once more.